Oh no! Yeah, no, apparently I do think things are about to happen. Khomeini canceled his Friday sermon fearing that he would be targeted. I love how, like, this is what I think is funny about this guy. Is that he thinks that we don't know where he is. Is like, do you really think that we don't know where you're at? What, we know where you are, man. Like, what are you even thinking? The Israeli army is waiting for the U.S. to move to attack Iran? Yeah, no, I'll look at it in a minute. Yeah, like, you dumb as hell. And we got another one here, right here. Look at this. Despite an internet blackout, major delays, new videos are coming out from Iran. So this is on January 18th. And they're chanting women, life, freedom. Look at this. Look at them go. Still protesting. They're brave. Yeah. No, I told you guys this is happening. Like, it's people think that it's not going to happen for whatever reason. It's going to happen. It's completely cooked. It's totally over. And new release footage alleged to be from the night of January 8th to 9th, which is claimed to show a member of Iran's IRGC firing the automatic rifle at anti-regime protesters in a pickup truck. Look at that. Classic, huh? The real classic. Man. It's bad, I know. Well, no, he's not showing anybody getting shot. I mean, I'm sure he's aiming at someone, but who knows if he's hitting them or not. Crimes against humanity on video, yet the UN, ICJ, and ICC are silent. Yep, that's right. And they're not saying anything about it because they're captured by people who hate the West. That's the reason why. And UN's powerless. The senior officials in the Israeli government are concerned President Trump will launch an initial strike campaign against targets in Iran before losing interest, leaving Israel to deal with the aftermath. Yeah, surely that's what's going to happen, right? And Iranian state TV is airing Sneeko.
می شود فهمید که موساد و سیا در این اتفاقات نقش می شود فهمید که موساد و سیا در این اتفاقات نقش داشتند. اگر هم فکر می‌کنید این توهم توطئه
That's crazy.
حرف‌های مایک پومپئو را
Oh my god.
سال نو میلادی بر همه ایران
What the fuck is happening? Well, basically, so the reason why they're doing this is they're trying to create the permission structure that allows them to kill their people. And the way they're doing that is by making this narrative that it's Mossad and the CIA that are behind these protests. And it's actually not Iranians that are unhappy, but it's actually the government and these foreign governments that are fomenting the unrest themselves. And that's the reason why it's actually happening. So President Trump reaffirms that help is on the way for Iranians. Oh boy, the Islamic regime in Iran has reportedly carried out its first execution of an anti-regime protester. No way! According to the BBC, Ali Rapar, a sports coach from Mashhad, was executed yesterday morning after being detained just 10 days later. Can you believe they're actually killing them? No way! Not surprised? Of course, this is obvious this was going to happen. It is. I mean, these people are fucking psychos. What were you gonna expect? The only way you can deal with these people is to just get rid of them. You know, nobody gonna talk back whenever the USA destroyed the regime in Iran? Yeah, I guess that's probably true. Rest in peace. Yeah, I mean, this is also a pretty high probability, right? By June 30th, I mean, it's inevitable this shit's gonna happen, right? I think it is. And I'll see if there's any more information about this it's worth looking at, because it's a whole lot. And I don't know what the fuck this is. Oh, that's some other bullshit besides that. But yeah, this is Ukraine. I'm trying to find the other posts about this. But yeah, obviously, like, I mean, I'm not trying to show a bunch of gore, but that's what happens. This is what happens whenever you go against them, right? And people are nuts, man. You see that? That's what happens. There's like a little kid. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my God. Attacked an anti-regime protester with machetes. Look, 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 look. Who does this? There's a little kid watching this too. Nah, you can barely even see it. You can't even see it, bro. Like, you can't even see what's going on. But like, I don't think that's TOS, honestly. Like, I mean, there's so many videos that they show like that of shootings that happen. Like, it's clear that's not happening. Or animals, yeah. I know y'all don't want to see it. I'm not gonna keep watching it. But like, that's it. I just want y'all to see this is how bad it is. It is. This is how bad and insane it is. Some kind of test? Yeah, I mean, like, these people are absolute fucking animals.
And in tonight's deep dive, we're focusing on the nationwide protests in Iran and the widespread internet blackout limiting information to Iranians and that what they're able to share with the world. A human rights organization now says more than 3,900 people have been killed and more than 24,000 others have been arrested in the protests. Iran's government has not confirmed exact figures of deaths and arrests. With the internet blackout now in its 12th day, a global internet monitoring company, NetBlock, says national connectivity in Iran remains extremely minimal.
Look at those bombs, bro. Like, that's insane.
Me now is Masha Al-Mardani. She's the Associate Director of Technology Threats and Opportunities at the human rights organization Witness. So,
you realize Iran have a military of a million standing soldiers, underground cities? I don't think they really have shit, honestly. I don't think they do. I think they're totally gassed out. Like, I remember whenever Israel was bombing them, and like, they had to turn off their internet because it was so embarrassing. Like, think about it like this. They had to turn off their internet because they were getting exposed for having all their shit get blown up. You're so naive, the Ayatollah ain't going anywhere? All right. Like, I think that people don't understand this, man. They really don't.
Masha, thank you for joining us. You have family and relatives living in Tehran. How are they doing, and are you able to communicate with them to hear about what they're going through right now?
I hope it's true. Yeah, it is.
Thanks for having me on.
You're gonna find out.
So as of last Tuesday, the Iranian authorities turned on outgoing landline telephone calls. So I think something many
people now you can't even call anybody?
Don't know is that when the internet shutdown happened on the evening of January 18th. There was also a communication blackout that occurred, but as of last Tuesday, outgoing calls were enabled. But of course, as we know, outgoing calls are monitored by the authorities in Iran. So of course, it's very hard to communicate. But what we have been seeing is there is a certain amount of Starlink satellite internet terminals available inside of Iran. And much of the documentation efforts that we've been seeing, many of the human rights organizations that are trying to verify very meticulously and methodologically the death count. And as you said,
I bet some people are saying it's like 40,000 now, like 40,000. Like, it's impossible to really know what the numbers are. But like, if they kept things up at the rate that they were going, I think that's it. Elon is really like, this is what I think is always weird, is like, people want to complain about Elon, but like, he's out there giving fucking internet to people that are getting killed by their government. Isn't that crazy?
A recent figure by one of the organizations, around 3,900. Of course, each of these organizations that come out with these figures say that they are in fact much higher because their access to information.
Well, that's why they shut down the internet, is so it's harder to communicate with other people and to figure out what's going on.
Is systematically denied as, you know, a part of what's going on. The Iranian authorities have turned off the internet to enable what is one of the possibly most historic large-scale massacres of
if the numbers are even on the bottom, like, I mean, there are some super conservative estimates, but it seems very clear to me that by the time this is over, the numbers of the people killed by this government is going to be higher than the Chinese government in the 1989 Tiananmen Square. That's basically the high score right now. Iran's going to beat it. By a mile, by the way. It's probably going to be 2 or 3x.
Protesters. I don't think since Tiananmen Square we have seen these numbers, and from all intents and purposes, these numbers have exceeded the deaths of those protesters back in the 80s in China.
It's crazy.
So the internet shutdown is very much the tool with which they use to enable these crimes to occur in the dark. Of course, there's
That's why they do it.
On families of victims not to report these officially.
It's pretty obvious, right?
Fog is very much a part of what they are doing in terms of the repression and violence against the protesters.
Given the information fog you were just talking about and the extreme communication challenges, how are protesters able to organize and get their videos and stories out to the world, including some of the videos that we've been playing on our airwaves?
The fog of war,
like
exactly.
I said, there is a small window into Iran right now, and that has been enabled by satellite internet. And it's through Starlink terminals that have been smuggled into the country. There was a 12-day war.
And they even have disruptors for the Starlink, so the Starlinks don't work that well.
Between Iran and Israel last June. Starlink became popular.
If we want regime change, it'll take a full-fledged war. This won't end from airstrikes alone. I wish this was the case, but come on, man. Honestly, I don't agree with you. I don't. I think that all we really need to do is cripple the military to where the people can take them out. I think that's it. Because, like, we know where they're at. I mean, like, obviously you just have a satellite. You just read where they're at and just send a bomb over there, blow them up. Like, what the fuck? Like, how do you think that's hard to do? Like, we got shit that can read a license plate off of a car, and it's in space. You think we can't figure out where they got all the guys at? Just go send a bomb over there, blow the shit up. Like, I mean, what are we doing? What are we talking about this for? Ask Maduro, yeah, ask Maduro. Oh, no, I can't do that. I can't do anything. Yeah, sure.
And they
got the leadership.
Started
exactly.
Selling at $300 a dish, but they're now upwards of $1,000 to $2,000 US being sold. And so there's a very limited window. As a human rights organization at Witness, as someone who works on technology and human rights, we've been advocating for a way to scale satellite internet access.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody says parts of the military will defect. No, they already have been. The military's been defecting. There's 2 militaries in Iran. There's the Iranian army that is primarily, it seems like, defecting from Iran and like the leadership. And then there's the IRGC. It's basically like, I mean, I don't want to, like damage the name, but like it's like the normal standing army and like the Knights Templar. If the Knights Templar were a bunch of retards. So basically you have like the religious army versus like just like the standing like state army. The state army is defecting, whereas the religious army is not defecting as much.
To the Iranian people, of course, normal internet access is encumbered by authorities and local infrastructure that they can control and shut off. So if there is a way, we've been calling on many different policymakers and governments to enable a more kind of scalable form of satellite internet, which is called direct-to-cell satellite internet, which is something that companies such as Starlink have already been developing. And so there must
Muslims
really
versus
be
non-Muslims
to take away
yeah, in a way. I mean, I think that this war definitely, this is the reason why you don't see a lot of leftists supporting the war. It's because through leftist ideology, Islam is right and everything that's not Islam is wrong. So what I'm saying is that any sort of secular Christian or like anything that could be seen as like a white religion is going to be seen as the bad thing versus Islam, which they see as a brown religion in terms of like the skin color of the people that practice it. Like, I know it sounds retarded. I know it sounds absolutely just like unfathomably retarded to say this. It's true.
cudgel that the Iranian...
Not all leftists think the same thing, though. Enough of them do to where, like, there's not... Like, let's be honest. A lot of them do.
Authorities use to enact such massacres, and that is by giving free access and providing free access to the internet in a way that we can witness and properly document these crimes, because they are
even from the population is Muslim, even half of them don't want the IRGC.
They have been putting forth a massive information operation as well as this type of censorship to ensure that the truth about the scale, which from all anecdotal reports, professionally and personally as a Iranian,
liberals love Islam now. Yeah, they absolutely
is really
do.
Unprecedented. I mean,
they're on defense for it like crazy.
Iranian that has
like, if they don't love Islam, then why are they constantly complaining about how Trump treats women when Islam in a lot of countries don't let them vote? Why are they constantly complaining about LGBT rights being eroded when, as far as I know, not in a single majority Muslim country are they able to have gay marriage? Why is that? Yeah, they absolutely do.
Connection inside of Iran. They know at least one person that
clear
has
double
died
standard
in these protests, if not
anybody can see this.
Of individuals, if not handfuls of individuals across every single neighborhood in Iran. It's very hard to describe the total scale of the deaths, and the information fog that is being enabled is really making it hard. I mean, here
that's why they're doing it. It's to make it hard. It's insane. I always point to my friends and family, just watch them do mental gymnastics to justify it. It's because they don't really care. Well, it's because they're afraid to criticize it because it goes against their power tier, their tier list, and like their power rankings of like intersectionality. If you understand like the psychology behind that, you'll be able to understand everything that they think.
News, of course, you have to point to a verified number, which is 3,900. But of course, because of the information environment, we don't know the full scale. And a recent report, for example, from medical workers says that it's above 16,000 protesters that have been killed by authorities.
It's probably way more. Like they said that a week ago. Yeah.
Wow. That is incredibly important context, especially bringing all that context around the numbers that we are able to report. Masha Ali Mardani, thank you so much.
No, I can't wait for this shit to get shut down, man. Like, as soon as it's over, like, I feel like, honestly, things will be better for everybody. They will be. Isn't it more the far left than the left? I think that the left is silenced by the far left. The far left are the ones that are really dictating the social policies of left-wing politics. Things like allowing illegal aliens to be in the country, that's a far left policy. That's not a typical liberal policy. If you go back to the 90s or even the 2000s, no Democrat liberal politician was saying this except for maybe one nutball. But now you have all these people that are advocating for it, people that are saying this insane. It's absurdity. Yeah, it's just totally fucking absurd. And some of these countries are thinking, why do you Americans care what we're doing? Well, we care what they're doing because they're destabilizing the entire region and they're funding terrorist groups that have attacked our boats. They shouldn't have done that. It was a mistake. And so now you should, you know, now you're going to see what happens, right? Let me go back to this.
King-class neighborhood near Tehran. This world is a place where rap is banned.
Is this the dying moments of an aspiring rapper? Oh no, I thought it was more of the frames of this. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if there's any new videos of this too, because it's really hard to find any videos or any information about this. Iran issues its first official death toll. Oh, good.
There's so much going on. Iran has offered the first government-issued death toll from its bloody crackdown on protests around the country.
How many?
And it's far lower than the count by human rights groups. Trey Yingst joins us now from Tel Aviv.
Yeah, whatever the number is, add a 0.
With the latest, Trey.
Yep.
Yeah, hey, Ryan, good morning. We are following developments out of Iran as the internet blackout there reaches 2 weeks of total darkness. Overnight, Iranian state media released the first official death toll numbers from the protests in Iran, saying that 3,117 people were killed, more than 2,400.
3,117? That's more than in 9/11. Holy shit.
Whom were civilians. The true number is believed to be much higher, with some estimates as high as 16,000
like 30,000. Yeah, probably about
President
that.
Trump spoke about Iran at Davos.
Oh my
today,
God,
focusing
that's
on
bad.
his
Yeah, it
success
is.
with destroying the country's nuclear program.
We obliterated Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity with operation.
Don't forget that's what they're willing to announce.
Midnight Hammer. We're 2 months away from having a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen. And Iran does want to talk, and we'll talk.
With the possibility of further military action against...
I don't think you can negotiate with them at this point. Like, after they're out there, they're, like, mass killing their own people, and, like, they're already trying to build nuclear weapons again and again. No. Like, you can't deal with people like that.
Iran still on the table. We're also tracking how Iran is going after opposition in and near their country. New video provided to Fox News shows the moments an Iranian drone slammed into a Kurdish base early on Wednesday in Iraq. The attack was the latest in a series of Iranian regime actions.
Somebody sent me this. This is what, and obviously all of this stuff comes from, you know, this is complete hearsay. But like, there's a message that somebody tried to get to me. One of my mods sent this to me. It says, hi, I'm sorry. I'm trying to contact mods and let them know that I have some insiders in Iran. Something's happening that's insane. They're experimenting and torturing people using nuclear waste material they burned inside out. There are pictures, but I recommend to not see it. And I believe that there are things worse. Please let Asman and the world know they can't sweep this. That sounds pretty fucking bad. Now, again, like, I mean, you know, it's impossible to know that, but that's one of the messages that's coming from people that, you know, we've been communicating with that are in Iran that have told us this stuff. It's unverified. Yeah, it's totally unverified. But it's possible. Actual Nazi stuff? I don't know why you guys are surprised. Of course they do this. Like, they're doing it so they can scare people so they don't do it anymore. Like, obviously. Like, that's... Like, it's horrible, it's brutal, it's like the most terrible thing you can imagine. That's why they're doing it. That's the entire reason.
Meant to target Kurdish opposition groups in and near Iran. Last week, a Kurdish general spoke with Fox News about how his forces are resisting the Iranian regime.
Yeah.
In some places, they confront the Iranian security forces who attack the civilians, and in other locations, they attack the IRGC bases. The last case was an IRGC base that was attacked and obliterated last night.
Sources tell Fox News that one Peshmerga fighter was killed in this Iranian attack, the latest fatality from the Iranian regime. Brian?
Thanks, Trey. You don't want to mess with the Kurds, but they are. Meanwhile, President Trump hosting...
Stalin? Yeah, it does look like Stalin, huh?
Signed a historic border peace agreement as his team reveals the ambitious strategy behind their master plan.
Peace is a different deal than a business deal because you're changing a mindset. And in Israel, there was 2 years of very intense war. For the people in Gaza, there was more than just 2 years of war. They had 20 years of hopelessness being ruled by a terrorist organization. So what the Board of Peace will have the ability to do if we're successful with Gaza is really show how do you do peace implementation.
Yep, joining us now, former Deputy National Security Advisor, KT McFarland.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. Hopefully it happens, right? Would you support dropping crates of machine guns into protester camps? Honestly, no, because I think that they would be, like, they would be claimed by the people that were trying to kill them. I think that would be a mistake. Yeah, I like the idea of it, right? But it's not like, this isn't like in PUBG where you can call in, like, a supply drop or something like that. It'll be exploited. Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea, right? I mean, like I like the concept, but at the end of the day, I mean, you're dropping in machine guns, and think about it like this too. They don't maybe know how to use these machine guns, so like you're giving these people this false sense of power, and then maybe they don't know how to use them in the way that they should be. So I think that if we're going to do something, it should be us doing it or empowering them through systems that they exist in already, rather than trying to just give them weapons and stuff like that they're not familiar with. Like, you ever seen, like, for example, you ever seen like one of these like guys, like, you know, like a guy in Dubai that like just buys a brand new Lamborghini and then he drives it right into a wall? Well, I feel like that's probably what a lot of people would do with an M16.
KT, Board of Peace, the impact you expect it to make.
Yeah, Tiger.
It's so different from the United Nations. I mean, it's what the United Nations was supposed to be originally, to help make peace, to help rebuild countries after war. The Board of Peace is
like the Taliban got U.S. hardware?
So they're doing things, and they're doing things very quickly, and they're doing things very effectively, and they're doing things nobody thought they could do. Peace in the Middle East, peace in Gaza, rebuilding Gaza.
Can we make AK-47s? Everybody knows how to use it.
It really is kind of a slap at the old world, right? The French, the British, the Germans, all the people who are against Greenland, who are against this, who are against that, who hate Donald Trump. that they're kind of left out now. The world.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, because they don't have any power. That's the reason why. Don't take this the wrong way, but you say you need to be brutal and apply Old Testaments and people will stop behavior. I'm against Iran, but isn't that what they're doing too? Yeah, that's why I said they're doing it. That's why I said it's easy. It's easy to predict that Iran will do the most cruel and brutal thing possible because they have to in order to maintain a degree of authority. Like, they have to do this. Like, they have to, like, burn people alive with radiation. Because if they don't, then more people are going to think that it's okay, and then they're going to be the ones that are on the chopping block, right? That's the reason why. I mean, obviously. Like, I mean, again, no, why are we acting like this is crazy to say? It's just a fact. Of course that's what happens. Why do you think they had all these torture devices back in the day? This isn't new. It's the reality. Damn, some people just don't get it. They just don't get this shit. It's the way it is.
Moved on from them. And what does the Board of Peace do going forward? After it solved Gaza, there are a lot of other possibilities it could do. Now, President Trump says it's going to work with the United Nations. So I think what either happens is the United Nations gets its act together, or if not, the Board of Peace takes a lot of predominance in the world of peace.
Leading up to this, there's a bit of a fracture, certainly an eruption, as the president says, I need Greenland. Denmark says you can't have it. Europeans rally to his side.
No, I think that this is really it. And let's see how many, if I can find one more.
Well, if they keep killing people, will you go back? And
well, I don't want to talk about that because I don't want to put myself in a position.
That's about something else.
I can't say that. I don't want to say it because I think it would be stupid for me to say that.
Yeah.
Okay, with that, we bring in exiled Iranian Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, who says that the regime is on the verge of collapse. Crown Prince Pahlavi, thank you very much. It's good to have you back on the program, sir.
Good to be back, Martha.
How do you interpret that exchange with Maria Bartiromo and President Trump?
Martha, in the middle of what's happening, I think I can update you with the latest news that I had from Iran itself. I just got off the phone with a political prisoner that managed to somehow connect to the internet.
That's a fucking wow.
And here's what the situation on the ground is. It's an ongoing war between the people and this regime. The regime has massacred them, and it is in total darkness that it is carrying out even more brutality by shooting people in hospitals under the direct order of Khamenei.
Yeah, this is what they're doing. They go into the hospitals, and then they just kill the protesters in their beds. I mean, again, like, I don't think that people understand. Like, that's what you do whenever you're a psychotic dictatorship. That's Nazi shit? That's a war crime? Who cares? Like, do you think that's like a magic word? Like, you think this is Harry Potter? You know, like, if you say that, they can't do it? What are you talking about? Check Discord. What does it say? Some insights from my Iranian contact. He's saying that the death toll is tens of thousands. The knowledge of the actions by the regime against protesters is very segmented. As in more remote regions and places with fewer protests, he says, are less aware of the killings, which makes perfect sense. He also says that in hospitals, as he is currently close to one, they force injured protesters to sign papers that they classify them as Israeli agents or foreign agitators, with immediate execution upon refusal to sign. So, as well as many bodies and missing body parts such as teeth, eyes, and organs. Oh, that makes sense, right? So basically, you signed a paperwork that says that we can kill you, or we kill you for not signing the paperwork. Yeah, that's about right. I mean, coming from the same people that brought you the greatest hits, such as we're going to kill you and then charge your families for the bullets. Yeah, I could believe that. Yep. They're animals. I mean, like, that's what animals would do. Sure.
Not to let anyone who was even wounded alive. That's the extent of their brutality, and the numbers you quoted is correct. We anticipate at least 20,000 people dead, if not more, across the land. Now, one thing that the world and this audience needs to realize is that these brave Iranians are saying, we are fighting not just for our own
Isn't it crazy that people are still out there protesting too? Like, that's nuts.
but to free the world from this terrorist regime. Their commitment is to fight to the very end, and this is the momentum that we have right now. And what could change the odds in their favor is the much-needed neutralization of the regime's instruments of repression.
That's what they have to do. Like, if they blow up the different military installations and just segment out the IRGC, I think that it's over. I think it's totally over.
Only occur based on what the president stated a few days ago, that it will be consequential for the regime using the brutality against the people. And you should not believe a word the regime says, because as an act of desperation, they're trying to buy time. They will make the same false promises that they've done before.
Yeah, they're just going to make up a bunch of bullshit. It's what they do.
You cannot rely on their words.
They have nothing to lose, everything to gain.
You know, President Trump suggested that talks might be in the works. He talked about the devastation to Iran's nuclear program by the B-2 strikes that were carried out by the United States and ground strikes that were carried out by the Israelis. But there is a lot of discussion in the things that President Trump is saying about negotiations and talks with the Iranian leadership. What do you say to President Trump about that suggestion?
Look, President Trump is a man of his word and he's a man of peace, and he does realize that the best way to protect lives is to take away the instrument of repression that has been a reason for this number of people killed. So in the equation and in the balance is what is the most effective way to stabilize the area, and we all realize that the best way to put an end to radicalism, to terrorism, to the nuclear threat, and everything else that this regime has provided our world with can only be eliminated in one shot by this regime collapsing. What's happening now is the regime, as I said before, is on the verge of collapse.
Right?
What will expedite its demise and will facilitate a transition to stability and peace is its disappearance. And the people of Iran right now are the boots on the ground fighting.
Isn't it amazing that when you're really in a dictatorship, you keep protesting and fighting until you win or die, but in the West only protest as long as they're able to broadcast it in media, like with Palestine or the Maduro protests? Yeah.